My name's Devlinbleu. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. 216. Artist, creative, poet, producer. All around, just love art, love creating art, like consuming art. So, yeah.
Talk to me about Need a Break. What was your thought process like when you were writing it, and what was the concept you were going for the song?
Yeah, you said the process, right? I kind of wanted to, like, my past stuff, I feel like was super rap, heavy on the lyrics and everything, and I wanted to, like, get a more laid back vibe, something that, yeah, no, so I was thinking about how, like, I wanted to kind of, like, shift my music more towards, like, a jazzy inspired, something that you can just, like, rock to, you know, and something that, like, I think for me, like, trying to figure out, like, where I want to go creatively and, like, artistically, and where my lyrics wanted to flow. I wanted to do something that inspired people, but allowed to, like, push my comfort zone when it came to writing. Because I think I was really used to, like, your, like, traditional, like, boom bap type beats with, like trap kind of sounds, and I think that was something that I wanted to change and, like, just really, like, not necessarily leave it behind, because I think the project that I'm working on, that this song is connected to, is something that still has those elements in it, but definitely wanted to just kind of give it a more of, like, a you can listen to this at the park and just really, like, vibe out, eat some cheese, drink some wine kind of thing. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the song, and I really loved the album cover for it.
What?
I'm really fucking with the helmet.
Yeah, I had to bring it in. I was like, the marketing team called me up. They're like, you need to bring your helmet. No.
Do you have any musical inspirations, and did any of the inspiration influence your newest release?
Yeah. I mean, definitely, like, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, like I said, and I think, like, Kid Cudi, Bone Thugs and Harmony, like, those are, like, heavy inspirations just, like, growing up as, like, a poet in the city. And also, like, I would say, like, Mac Miller, definitely, just the way that his career trajectory went, and, like, went more towards, like, I don't know, I feel like more, like, towards the imagery and more towards, like, the artistry of, like, production.
Do you have any dream collaborations, and do you have any collaborations coming in the future?
So yeah, I do have some collaborations coming in the future. The next song that I'm gonna be releasing is called "Thinking About You," and so, like, the full project that I'm doing and that's coming out in the next few months is called "Find Me When the World Ends," and so this one is "Thinking About You," and it's like a kind of a long time collaborator that I've had. She's her name's Anastasia. She's a great vocalist. Also, like, blessed to have her as my cousin. She's like 2 days apart from me. But we've had this kind of in the vault for like a year or so. So that's coming out next month. Working on another collaboration, longtime friend of mine that I grew up with. He's been putting a lot more music out, named by Cameron Day, and he got a song called Changes coming out. That's kind of focused on just, like, kind of almost like what I was saying before, like, with the music and the project and everything, is that, like, as, like, we're working on this music, like, we're seeing changes in ourselves and we're getting older, and, like, it's, like, I feel like it all, like, still means a lot to us, but it's just, like, the perspectives we're taking from it is just so different. And so I think that song itself is kind of, like, diving into, like, what that means. And yeah, I mean, dream collaborations, like, shoot. Honestly, I think of some collaborations that, like, you know, not that you all sat on them, but I have, like, some people that I've lost when I was younger, that I worked with and produced with, and sometimes I'm like, I wish I could collab with them now, you know. So I got some instrumentals that I've been working with that I still have from some of their stuff, so I'm working on that. But dream collabs, like, definitely been, like, I think one of the inspirations too for this project has been, like, Coda the Friend. I think some of his stuff has been, like, is kind of that same vibe of, like, you can really just, like, put that on and just, like, chill out on a Sunday afternoon with, like, with your girl or with your friends, and you're just, like, vibing out. So that would be an amazing collab. And yeah, I mean, there's some artists in the city too that I've been wanting to work with, that I've been kind of following a little bit. You know, some Lights on Just, he's up here in the Bronx, and then a friend of mine, Dion Raps too. He's been doing his thing. He's from Queens, but yeah, that's about what I've been thinking right now.
We love Dion on this side.
Yeah,
Dion
yeah.
is great.
No, that's how I kind of like figured out like that you were doing this thing.
You kind of already answered this question, but maybe you can answer it a little more in depth.
No, cool.
What's coming after this single release? Album, EP, feature run, single run?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, basically, I mean, we got 3 singles lined up, so this first one just came out. I have 2 more after. And then we're gonna try to release the project, hopefully in like May, April time. Was kind of thinking like a lot of the songs kind of go well with like the springtime and like it getting warmer and everything. Definitely want to do like a kind of like an album release type of party type thing at like there's a bar spot near us in Brooklyn that I've been kind of trying to work with to see what we can set up. So definitely excited to do that. Also want to do kind of like a smaller like listening party type thing with some like people, some just artists that I've met and whatnot, and kind of get a vibe for it. And then I like, as I've been making this project, I mean I've been making this project for like honestly way too long. Like it's been like 2-3 years. And it's just been like, it's gone through so many iterations and so many like vibes and changes and shifts, and you know, and I think one thing that has come with that is a lot of like songs that I've like started writing like parallel to it that feel like the same vibe but like don't really match the album itself. So like definitely gonna have a few songs afterwards that are gonna be like somewhat of like a deluxe. Haven't really decided exactly what I want it to be, but I think with the concept itself is just like this astronaut that finds like, he comes back to Earth like after the world's like basically been obliterated by like nukes, and he finds like a radio, and he's like switching through that radio, and every song is a different song on the radio. And so I kind of want to do like maybe this like deluxe thing as like a ship's log, like missing tapes type thing, or we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean definitely more music always. I feel like I'm always creating and always writing, but like I think with this is like really trying to be just more like intentional with the story and like the concept, and like what does that mean when you're trying to like market that and like gauge interest, you know. So
those are all my questions that I have, but I do want to say that I really enjoy your cover arts. I was listening to Malcolm in the Middle. That was just so silly.
The cover art was ridiculous.
It's so silly.
I was like, it was like 3 a.m. when Joe showed me that shit. I was like,
what?
I was like, he's holding himself as a baby. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's fine. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, I was like putting that together. At first, it's funny because we were gonna try to like do some type of like animated thing. It was gonna be super crazy to like render or some stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was like, fuck it, like why don't we just like slap the photos on the actual thing? I was like I hope I don't get sued for this, but you know. I think that's one thing too. Like I think the visuals is something that I love like jumping into. And I got a few like music videos that I'm trying to put with this project. I want to do one for I Need a Break for sure. And I think the idea I have for that one is like just like having like the helmet on and just being in just like random spots in New York, just like being just like so tired or exhausted, just like I'll with like a newspaper or some random shit. So I think it might be fun to put together for that one. But yeah. So you asked about like about Need a Break and like kind of the idea of like what was some of the inspiration from it, and like what was like why necessarily, like why is this the first single and all that kind of stuff. And I think one of the things that I wanted to touch on was like, I think like it's just funny that it like dropped around this time period. I think just like in my own personal life, like I was like really feeling, when that came out I was like, I need a fucking break too, like this is crazy. And like obviously you gotta be like on the promotion like angle and like really like getting your stuff out and everything. So like but like I was feeling that. And so I think one of the things that I've been trying to lean into with it too is just like with specifically like kind of the low energy and just kind of like relaxed vibe of the song. Like I wanted to make a song that was 3 verses specifically, and so that it was just bars. And like, I hadn't released a song in like over a year when Need a Break came out, so I kind of wanted to be like an update of like where I was at, and like that like almost not almost like an explanation of like why I've been gone for so long, and like, you know, and it's just trying to get that those inner chakras, like the energy like right to release again. And I think especially with the music, like it's easy to get burnt out when you're like constantly producing and putting your stuff out there, and like and that's what I wanted that song to kind of be an ode to, is that like it's easy to get burnt out on the music, but it's also easy to get burnt out on like the relationship side of life, and just like trying to like work through those things. And like sometimes things don't work out, and it's like where does that lead you? And I think for me, like it's always been back to the music and falling back in love with that, and letting that guide you and guide me at least. And so at the very end of the song, like you'll hear like a little radio like static or whatever, and there's like there's a language, and it's in Belarusian. So in like the song, it's like it says like what is it? I don't even forget my own lyric. No, I'm just kidding. It says "Come and See," like this the energy all through 2033, and "Come and See" is like this crazy movie about like World War II, and like the Nazis going into like Belarusia, and like basically just like going after like villages and stuff. But like the main character is like this kid, and he joins like the resistance, and so like the little snippet is in Belarusian, and it's like he's with like the Soviet resistance, and they're kind of like talking to him about how like, you know, like you're an optimist, like we need to cure you of that. And so that little section, I really liked that idea, because it was like I think sometimes you need a break from yourself, sometimes you need a break from the music and what you're putting out, but also sometimes like you gotta look around at the people around you and like see like, you know, like some people mean well, like in that movie, like they mean well, they're the resistance, but it's like sometimes that energy can cut you down and like cut down your optimism and cut down like where you're trying to get to. And so that's a little Easter egg that I wanted to touch upon, and because it's kind of hard to even figure out what that even is. Really good movie too, kind of depressing but fire. And then then it cuts into a little segment of like these 1950s clips that I found about just like impending nuclear war, but it was like these old like 50s radio guys talking about it. And now you'll see that in the album. That's kind of what like brings everything together. But yeah. So you can find me on all socials, Devlinbleu, DEVLINBLEU. Mostly on Instagram. I got a YouTube channel and everything. And yeah, gonna be having songs coming out in the near future. If you want to follow, just hit the Instagram. Honestly, that's like where like my main everything is. We're on TikTok, but that's been like on the ropes recently. So, you know, try not to put too much effort into that side of things. But yeah, I think me and some friends back home, like we had put together LMSD Studios, which is like kind of like our dream and like our idea of like what we wanted our music and creations to like be coming from. And it's like it means like let's make something dope. And so that's kind of like the vibes that I and like all the people that I've been working with that I want to collab with. Like I'm excited to work in that vein of things where it's like we're just out here just creating and like seeing what sticks, seeing what doesn't. But it's like if we're having a good time and like seeing what make things work, like, you know, hopefully we can do this professionally in a way where it's like actually like, you know, you could pay your rent, pay your bills for that, and if anything like inspire other people to do the same, like for sure. So yeah, it's good to meet you. Good to talk to you.
Happy to have you, man.
Shout out Super Graphic Magazine. Yeah, for sure. Like sometimes I'll stop smoking weed and like that will like it will help me and then sometimes it won't help me. And I'm like, alright, then I'll smoke weed and I'll get better and then sometimes it doesn't. So I'm like, doesn't even. Anyway, it's wrong. Yeah. So yeah, so you asked.